Good day, everyone. My name is Samuel Echeverria, and for my country, I chose Spain, formerly known as the Kingdom of Spain. And I chose Spain because my father's side of my family, that's where I get my heritage from. And it's always fascinated me, and I'd love to visit one day. So during my research, I found a diverse culture with broad comprehensive healthcare and an advanced economy. All right, moving on along here, getting out of Spain's way. If you look right down there, this is where Spain is. We have about 47 million people in this country. It is the sixth largest population in Europe. It was the largest economy of Southern Europe as well. It's got a GDP of 2.9 trillion. It is the 14th largest in the world, 1.39% of the world's GDP. A lot of this is due to the progressive policy that Spain has. The Spanish Constitution focuses on fiscal consolidation and structural reform. So Spaniards have a very healthy culture, and I found this due to three main things, including food, the strong social bonds they share, and activity and environment. So their food mostly consists of the Mediterranean diet, and that's got a lot of fish, fresh fruit, vegetables, olive oil, and they're not just having these meals and this healthy diet alone. They're sharing it at the dinner table with extended families. Their family units could be grandparents, parents, children, and they will tend to have longer dinners and meals in the evenings than typical, and it could last a couple of hours after they're even done eating. And they call this sombresas, and it's very important, to their culture that you sit down and make sure you have time and enjoy that that time and catch up with people. Um, and I think I mentioned it already, but it's not just with their families, but it's with friends, colleagues, and yeah, this is just part of their strong social bonds that actually support their life. Only 23% of older Spaniards live alone, and comparing that to 32% of across of Europe, this means that they enjoy many benefits of daily companionship and support. Which if you're older, this is going to get more and more important to you. And these older folks aren't just sitting around all day; they have a really uh, big emphasis on staying active. You know, they're very active and involved in their cultures with their families, and that's not just their older population. It's also just everybody. They care about doing stuff physically. They just won the World Cup, and it's you know pretty relatable understanding that they care about their sports activity, overall lifestyle. All right, check out this guy helping this lady in this slide. All right, taking it more seriously now. Um, yeah, their healthcare absolutely contributes to their longevity, healthier lifestyles as well. Written in their Spanish constitution, everyone shall contribute to sustain public expenditure in proportion to his or her financial means through a just and progressive system of taxation based on principles of equality and which shall in no case be confiscatory in nature. So this goes back to their two main principles in their constitution, focusing on their fiscal consolidation and structural reform. Part of that structural reform was their healthcare. They have a public healthcare system that is funded by their people. About 99% of Spaniards are covered underneath this healthcare. But not only that, they have private healthcare. This private healthcare makes their healthcare even better. If the wait time is too long and it is affordable, they will get that care through their private healthcare. And what this has done is created an inexpensive healthcare. Um, they're paying significantly less for MRIs and just basic routine checkups. And having this private healthcare system helps shorten their wait times. So we're quite used to quality physicians and care in America, and it is very similar. They have very high standards for their healthcare physicians, and people will go there for this healthcare as well, not just within their country, but outside of the country. You have healthcare tourism. So yet again, reiterating the fact, this is creating a higher than average life expectancy. So moving on along, we have for our next three topics, going to try to breeze right on through these: stigma, minorities, and progressive policy. So the minority group Roma, this was something I found extremely interesting while doing my research. They are known also, maybe you've heard the term gypsies. And before my research, I didn't realize that this was a derogatory term towards their group. Um, Considering that the population of Spain is like 47 million, 750,000 is quite big, still a minority. And throughout their history of Spain, they've been relocated into ghettos, and they've experienced a lot of discrimination throughout their life, and their lifestyles have always been a little bit different. And because of this relocation and living a little bit differently, they have been impoverished and have suffered from food insecurities. Stigmatization of mental health. So, mental health is unresolved in individuals, and physicians share the blame. So, they go have mental health issues, and for the men, machismo, it's causes an aversion to get treatment. They have this stigma where they want to present themselves as strong, foundational characters, and they don't want to show weakness. It kind of hurts them in the long run. It kind of reminds me of personally toxic masculinity. You know how you have negative traits that you attribute to being a man. This is not just impacting men; it impacts the women. Right in here, I have migrant women, elderly women, ethnic minorities navigating compounding layers of marginalization. It isolates them further from seeking help. It For the women, they kind of stay silent through their struggles and difficulties, and it negatively impacts them. And going to the first slide over here, it's not just the men and women seeking help, but they're not getting the help from physicians because they share the stigma as well, where they do not look at it in the most positive light. A lot of these mental health um, illnesses, they go unresolved because of this, and yeah. So this has been one of my favorite things about Spain is their progress with a proven method. It's almost like the scientific method, education for policymakers, physicians, and individuals, leading to more research and study. These two are pretty interchangeable. You can start with the research and study, go to education. But nonetheless, this is going to lead to enacting change. And why this is relevant for Spain is that when you reduce stigmatization around things such as mental health and people, you're going to have success reducing uh, the harm done by the stigmatization, such as like the ones I was bringing up about mental health. And also, Spain's enacting change through policy um, with an educational campaign to elucidate their culture of Romas, and they're coordinating their inclusion more so in Spain than they ever have. And this started with researching and studying, and they did a lot to educate their populations. Not only were they educating the people of Spain, but educating the Romas about Spanish people. And a lot of this education was also educating their physicians when it came to stigmatization. Trying to make it clear, hey, you may not be looking at this with a non-bias as well. So, like I said, this has been my favorite part of Spain. I thought that how they're doing things is very progressive and just cool. Obviously, it's not perfect. You look more into it, you're gonna see that they still have problems, but